Hello, it is time for another Facebook Live. This is the card we're going to make tonight. I'll give y'all a couple minutes to get on, and while I'm waiting, we will see if I can get it shared to the group. My laptop was being extremely slow, so if it keeps acting up, I'll worry about sharing it later. Okay. Just working on trying to get to the top where I can find this video. I did do the drawing for last week's card, so I will tell you at the end who won that card. And then I realized when I started last week that I hadn't drawn for the week before, but I didn't have a card up where I usually keep them all before I draw them and send them out. And I'm like, what did we do? And then I remembered that we did 5 cards. Well, we did 1 card, but I had 5, and so whoever won was going to get to choose whatever color. So I've drawn for that, and I'll tell you that, and then they can let me know which color they want. All right, here we go. I found it. And I am going to, while I'm waiting for my laptop to actually do something, I will grab this paper because I forgot to grab it, so you can see what that is. Okay, we're almost there. I hope y'all are having a good week. It's been a busy week for us. Hey, Patience. We've got, my grandson is turning 1 year old this weekend. It's so hard to believe. And so I've got my parents, both my sisters are coming into town. My husband's sisters and mom are coming into town. My son, my youngest, and his girlfriend are coming into town. So we've got a busy weekend. So we've been busy getting ready for having all this company. But all right, we are ready to get started. So before we start stamping, I'll remind you about one thing. I actually remembered my flyer tonight. So if you are not already a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and that's something you're interested in, and all that means is you get a discount on the products that you purchase right now through the end of May. So a little over a week, about a week and a half maybe. This is something in addition to what you normally get. So a starter kit, you get $125 worth of product for $99, free shipping. So that saves you another, I don't know, $10. But right now they're having a special through the end of May where you get in colors. So you get in color grid paper. This is grid paper that I put here. It just protects your surface while you're stamping, but you get the in color grid paper. You get all of the ink pads. You get an assortment of all of the colors of cardstock and the designer series paper, which I'm using a little tiny piece of it tonight in the in color. So all of this, in addition to whatever you want to pick out for $125 worth of merchandise. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure and reach out to me. Like I said, you do not have to have classes. You don't have to do videos. You can just buy stuff. I know, it's a great deal, isn't it, Patience? All right, so tonight we are going to play with the Happiness Abounds. So it's this stamp set, and this has some beautiful designer series paper that goes with it, but tonight I wanted to do something a little bit different. And then it has this die set. So the dies will cut out, let me get this over here, cut out these stamped flowers and leaves. Then it has the little, on the front of the catalog, let me just show you. See that, like it was torn out of notebook paper? That's this die. That's how they did that. And then this just cuts little holes. And I might have had a card with it. I should have brought it over. But it's just like a little lacy greenery cut. So it's a really fun die set too. And then the paper that goes with this is just gorgeous. We used it, I think, before. Well, I know we used it. Oh, I can show you that. I have those right here. We used it in class. Monday night we had a slimline class, and that's what these flowers are die cut out of, is that paper. So that's really pretty. All right. And then what I used instead of the paper that goes with the suite is this is called Perfectly Penciled, and it's just black and white. So you have beautiful floral on one side, and then just a black and white pattern. That's what we're using as the dots. There's stripes. So this would be really pretty to color the floral, but I love black and white paper because it's so fun to just do all sorts of different things with it. Like I said, you can color it. I think that's all. Or you can just use it like I did as a background. All right, let's get that out of the way. And so that's what I did here. I just took a piece of this dots and used it as my background. All right, let's get started. So we'll do our stamping first. And this is a circle that I die cut with the, hang on, they're right here. I'll tell you the names. It's my new favorite set. Stylish Shapes. So circles, squares, and then these banners. And they have the kind of stitched edges. So it's a really great set. And we are going to stamp in Memento because we're going to use our blends. And because these are photopolymer, I'm going to go ahead and get my Stampin' Pierce mat out. And let's do our sentiment first, just so I know. And I'm using, this is one of our new in colors. This is Sweet Sorbet. And I'm just taking the word friend, and I'm going to put it right down here at the bottom. There we go. Get that Sweet Sorbet out of the way before I put a finger in it. And then we will add our flower. Again, I'm using Memento black on this because we're going to color it with blends. So anytime you're coloring with blends, you want to use Memento. I'm just going to put that in the middle. There we go. And then I am going to put, let me see if I have a scratch right here. Sometimes I keep a little, there we go. I do want to protect my mat a little bit because I'm going to go off the edge. Now I took the dies and die cut. Patience says, now I know I'm making this card this weekend. I die cut the flowers out of a Post-it note. I did this before Stampin' Up! Had masking paper. Now we have masking paper, which is exactly what you need to use for this. So I die cut the flower, but when you die cut it, it does leave a little bit of area. Let me show you these other ones because I haven't trimmed them. See, it leaves a little bit of area around the image, but when I'm using it to mask, I don't want any of that there. So I just took my scissors and trimmed this closer because what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay this right on my image. And what that allows me to do is stamp my leaves so they look like they're coming out from behind the flower. Now I just need to be sure on this one I don't get it off on the other side because I just wanted like 3 leaves. So then when I take my Post-it note off, now you just have this nice image, and then you save this. It just goes in my case with my stamps, and then it is ready to use the next time. All right, so now we are ready to color. And so I used, don't need that anymore. I used our new Parakeet Party blends and our Sweet Sorbet. So I'm going to start with the flower, and it's a big enough area that I'm going to use the thick end. And I am just going to color all over, trying not to get too close. Sometimes they will bleed a little bit. I did do this out of just regular basic white. If you use the thick basic white, then that keeps it from bleeding a little bit too. But I'm just going to color this whole flower with the light. So this is the light Sweet Sorbet that I'm using. And then we will go back and add some dark and blend it out, and then it will make it have a lot more depth. And then the leaves are really easy. I did add a little bit of shading at the base of them, but that's it. All right. Oops. So now I'm going to get my dark. And I know I want some dark in the middle here, because where it's really tightly woven like that. And then anywhere there's like a leaf on top or a petal on top of another, I'm going to put some dark. So along here, and then back along here too. Down in there. And then when you get the dark on there, then you just go back with your light and just kind of blend it out. Now I'm not too worried about blending anything in the middle because I did want that to be just kind of dark. And then when you're done, hopefully you can see then there's some depth to it. So this is a lot lighter here and then it's darker. And if you're not happy with it, you can always go back and add some more dark. So you get some more depth there. Again, just blend it out. There we go. Now it's got a little bit more depth to it. I think that's good. And then with the leaves, I am going to use the smaller end on these just so I have more control. And I'm just going to color the whole leaf. And I'm going to do them just a bunch at a time. So I'll do this group of them first, do the blending, and then I'll go do the other one. Just because it usually works better when you add your dark if the light is still a little wet, and then when you blend it if it's still wet. So I'm just putting some dark there at the base, and then I'll just go back and blend it out. I'm making sure you can see what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, I think you can. And then I'll do the same thing on the other leaves. Just color them all with the light. And you have a lot more control with this smaller end of it. So here where it's a smaller space, I like to use the small end. And then with the dark, I'm just putting a little bit of dark at the base of each leaf. And then going back with my light and just blending that up. Hey, Nancy, welcome. And that's it. That's a coloring. So not hard at all. And there you go. There's your rose when you're all done. So now we're just ready to put this together, which will be easy. Let me grab my adhesive. So this is a thick Whisper White card base. And as always, I will put the dimensions, thanks, Patience, on my blog after I get done here. I'll put up a blog post and put the dimensions on. Yeah, you'll have to catch up, Nancy. We just did the coloring. Is the main thing. All right, so then this pretty black and white paper, black and white polka dot paper. And then this is some of the in color paper that you can get free with a starter kit for this month. And so this has got polka dots on one side and plaid on the other. So we'll just, whoops, put that back off. And I'm going to put that towards the bottom of the card. There we go. And then I did put my rose up on dimensionals. Let me see if I have some cut yet. So I'm down to the last on this sheet, so I'll use the edges. And you do want to be sure when you're coloring with blends to have something to protect your surface underneath of it, because they do bleed through. They're supposed to do that. So I'm just putting some dimensionals on here. I'm using all my edges up. Don't ever throw away the edges. Use every bit of dimensional on your sheet, because those edges work just fine. And if you've got a long piece that you're putting on, you can just cut the whole long strip. All right, so we're going to put that so our friend is going horizontal. And then I decided it needed a little bit of bling. So we have, in the new in colors, this Baker's Twine. So it's in each of the new in colors. So this is the Sweet Sorbet. So I'm just going to pull off. And because it's thin Baker's Twine, I like to double it. So I'm just going to tie a bow. This is always a challenge when you're trying to do this on camera. You know, it never, there we go. That wasn't too bad. I'm gonna grab my ribbon scissors. Oops, and we'll cut our ends. Maybe. Okay, tying the bow is easy. Cutting the ends is going to be difficult, evidently. There we go. And then we will take a glue dot and put our little bow on with a glue dot. Somewhere. There they are. So it's always easiest to put whatever you're sticking on with a glue dot onto the glue dot and then pick it up. At least that's what I find is the easiest. And then I just put it kind of over here at the edge. I'm just kind of bending up the glue dot that's sticking out so it doesn't. So just there on the edge of the card. And there you go. There's our card. And so everybody that comments on this video will be in the drawing to win this card next week. Not pretty. I love that Sweet Sorbet for a rose. It's really nice. Okay. Before I forget, let's see who won last week. So last week we played with the botanical layers. So this is a piece of vellum that has just these black circles on it. And then we stamped the botanical pieces behind it and then put some punches in there too. And so the winner of this is Debbie. So I will get that to her. And then the week before, the one that I forgot was the one that we copied from Patience. And it was all the in colors. And the winner of this is Allison. So I will reach out to Allison and have her tell me which color she prefers. And we'll get that sent to her. All right, that is it for tonight. I will get my blog post out there. And then next week, somebody will win this card. All right, thank you, ladies, so much for joining me. And I will see you next week. Night.